Hello guys, Bud here, and today we're going to start the coding series off with some JavaScript. So JavaScript is one of the most widely used programming languages on the web, and it's used on most websites and browsers nowadays. One key thing to remember is JavaScript and Java is not the same. They're different languages and have different uses, so don't get too confused. Yeah. So we're going to start off with a bit of JavaScript, and we're going to start from the very simple stuff, and as the series progresses we'll get onto the more complicated things. But we're going to start off with the sort of main bit behind Java, which is data types. JavaScript kind of allows the user to change a lot of data, not so much the actual variables themselves, but the data that's being stored. So you've got three main data types. I'm just going to type them on my little developer tool here. But you've got a string. Oh, that's sting. You've got this. My God, I cannot spell string. And then you've got a number, and then you've got what's called a boolean. So we're going to go over these one by one. So we'll start off with a string. Now, a string is simply just like a group of letters or numbers. And that's all a string is, but the main thing to remember is if you're writing out a string, they've got to be within quotation marks, so you can either use the single ones, or you use single ones like that. So if I just put hello 1 2 3, that's a string because you've got it between your two quotation marks. Or if you went for double, that also works, and again you hello 1 2 3. So as I say, a string, it's the main thing to remember is a string is just a group of letters or numbers, but it has to be within either the single quotation marks or the double quotation marks. Our second data type is just a number. So a number is a number: 5, 10, 100, 1,000, million. It is simply just any number, and it could be a whole or a decimal. And a boolean, basically, boolean, depends where you're from. A boolean will return something as true or false. So yeah, they're your main three data types. There are sort of a couple others, but you don't need to worry about them just yet. Now we're going to go over variables. To name a variable, you start off with var, or var, which is obviously short for variable, and you name the variable. So let's say this is going to be variable x. Okay, and let's say we want to set x to let's say we want to set x to 3. So the way we'd write that out is we put var for variable, and then we do space x, name of your variable. So you know, this bit can be anything. You know, variable x, and then you do space equals. So the equal sign is basically saying the stuff before the equal sign. So the x is going to be equal to, or it will basically set it to whatever's beyond the equal sign. So as I said, if we want x to be 3, you do it like that. So the next command we're going to go through is the console log command. Console log is basically saying I need you to print this. The brackets is saying I want you to print what's between these brackets, and then the semicolon basically says, you know, thank you, that's all I need. So if we wanted it to print a number, you just put your number in, console log 4, like that, and you see here it prints 4. Right, now we wanted it to print a string. Remember, string is always in quotations so that we can use the single ones or the double. I like to use the double, and we can just put hello world. Oh, hello world. You don't need you don't need the space there either, but I just like it because it looks a bit neater. And then again, if we did that, you see it doesn't show anything else, it just prints hello world. So yeah, as I said, the console log's quite useful for when you want to display information. And if you want to display a variable, you can do that too. So what we're going to do is we're going to set a couple of variables. So yeah, so here we got the name, which is a string, hence the quotation marks, and that's Spud, semicolon. Variable age 18, semicolon. Variable British, which is, this is basically the boolean. So you got to think of it, so that's the string, that's your number, that's your boolean. I can't spell true either, I've just noticed. True. So now what we're going to do is we're going to leave a couple lines, and we're going to put our console log command in, like so. So yeah, as I said, we've got the variable string, so the variable is called string, and you've got Spud. variable number 18, variable boolean true. So as I said, these are your three data types: string, number, boolean, and these are what we're setting it to. As I said, down here you got console log, so it reads it. Okay, I need to print something. I've basically put, these are just strings, so name, age, and British. It's just going to literally display them words, name, age, and British. And then here it's going to see string. Okay, I need to put the variable string now. Let's read through my variables. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, here's variable string is set to spud, so it's going to display spud where this is. And then it's going to do the same for number. It's going to display 18 where number is. And then it's going to look for boolean and find true and put that there. But yeah, I forgot the plus signs. Basically, it's going to read console log. Okay, I need to print this. And then the plus means it's something else. It's got to add something else on. And then it's going to add on to the variable. So there you go. As you can see, it says name, spud, age 18, British, true. For now, we're now going to go on to the maths side. So to do JavaScript, maths doesn't have to be your strong point, but it can do maths for you. So within JavaScript, they have what's called math operators, and these are basically little symbols that do the maths for us. So you've got your plus symbol, which will add two numbers together. You've got your minus symbol, which will minus two numbers. You've got your times symbol, which is that, the little asterisk, which will times two numbers together. And then you've got your forward slash, which is the divide. And as I said, that will obviously divide two numbers. So they're your maths operators. So we're now gonna, I'm now gonna show you kind of a couple of examples of how you can use that. So we're gonna pull up the console log again. I'm gonna get rid of all that. So as I said, that's your basic console log. So say I wanted to make it do a calculation for me. You know, I want to just do 20 divided by 2, and if I click enter, it returns 10. As you can see, all my answers have returned whole, but what happens if an answer doesn't return whole, or if there's a remainder? So for example, we'll take the number 20 again, okay, and we'll divide it by 3. So let's do 20 divided by 3. Now if I do that, you can see I've got a horrible number there. So there is a command which can help you decide or help you know what remainder there is. So this is called the modulus command, and the modulus command uses this symbol percentage. Let's do 100 divided by 40, or modulus 40, sorry, modulus 40. So 40 is into 100, go 40, 80, and then you can't put any more, otherwise you'll go over 100. So you get to 80, you'll have 20 left over. So this will return the value of 20. There you go. Now a lot of people question the use of a modulus. They say, well, what's the point of knowing the remainder? And it can be useful in real life events. So for example, moon phases. Now there's 365 days in a year, standard year, not leap year or anything like that. A full moon phase, it takes 27 days. So let's say today is a full moon, and we want to know exactly what moon phase it'll be in by this date next year. We can use a modulus for that. So if you look at the graph on the screen, you can see the 27 phases of the moon. So what we're going to do, we're going to get our console log up, like that. Now there's 365 days in the year, so let's do 365, yeah, for the days in the year. And now we want to know the remainder, so we'll use the modulus command and 27 for the 27 days it takes the moon to orbit the Earth. It will be this many orbits into a whole year, and it will return 14. So if you look on the graph on screen and you go to number 14, that means that on this day next year it will be that moon. Now, sticking with the whole theme of maths, we're going to go on and talk about how JavaScript can generate a random number for you. But basically, this command will allow you to generate a random number between 0 and 1. And this command is math.random, and then you do 2 little brackets and your semicolon on the end to let the developer not tool know that you're finished. So as you can see, it's got to be a capital M, math.random, brackets that. It's kind of like your console.log, math.random. So now if we hit enter, you can see it will generate a random number somewhere between 0 and 1. But if you do want a number bigger than 1, there's a way you can fix this. So you basically print it in a console command. Console.log. So again, anytime you want something printing, you use your console log command. And then within the console log, you're going to do math.random. And then obviously your colons. Oh, sorry, you don't need a semicolon there. But you're going to do your maths.random and then the brackets, so it's generating a random number here, and then let's times it by 100. So there you go. Now there is a command you can do to round it down to the nearest number, and that command is math.floor. Floor. Okay, so if I did 15.999999, okay, I go like that, it rounds to 15. So math floor, whatever number is between its brackets, it will round down. It never rounds up, it will round down. Now, if we wanted to print this, we're going to do that now. So we're going to, since we want it to print, we're going to use our console log command. So we're going to, within the console log, we're going to do math.floor. And then we're going to use the 2 brackets. So you got to think of it as this, the unhighlighted stuff, console log bracket, semicolon, is your console log command, like your standard console log. And what it's printing is the math floor. Now, as I said, the math floor rounds down whatever number is within its brackets. And as you can see, at the moment that's empty. But if we wanted to perhaps use a random number, we can use math.random with its columns, and again we'll times by 100 because otherwise we'll just get the answer 0. So we hit enter now, you can see we get the answer 89. So hopefully you understood all that. As I said, if not, just take a while to sort of break it down to each stage. Start with your math random, then do your math random times a number, then try and use the maths floor with the math random, and then put it all within a console log command. Yeah, and then our final bit for this episode is going to be commenting. So yeah, if you remember this at the beginning, we've set our string, our number, our boolean, and then we were basically asking the console log to display it. Now, let's say we wanted to put a comment in there. So comments are for human purpose. So if I come back to this code, or if a different developer came and read this code, I could leave little comments for him or for me, so I can read it and realise what that part's doing. So for example, we're going to do it up here. So above our variables, we want to, let's say I want to write a little line, put in these are my variables. So I've got a little line there. Now at the moment, the developer tool, when it reads this block of code, it's going to read this and it's going to almost confuse it. So if you want it there purely for human purpose and you don't want the console to do anything for it, you can do what's called a commenting. So if it's only a single line, for example this, you just do a // like that. You can see it's gone green here. On some developer tools it may like sort of whiten it out or grey it out, but basically that now won't be read. The dash can be used for commenting out a single line. Now what happens if I want to comment out multiple lines? So for example, I've added some text here. Now I could go through and just do a / on every single line like that and it would do the same effect, but why sort of cause that, you know, it's just extra work and extra symbols that you don't need. So what we're going to do is you start on the line you want to start commenting out on. So this is the first line I want to comment out, so I go right to beginning, and I'm going to do a / and a star, because this is basically telling the console this is where my commenting is beginning. Now, wherever you open something up, you have to close it down. So I can either do it after the hello or the line under, but we're then going to do a star out asterisk and then another / just to make it a little bit clearer. I'll do it like that. And just to show you what I mean, if I got rid of that, you can see all of this has now become green because the console thinks that I want to comment out all this. But obviously we don't, so we're just going to return it with the / and all this goes back to normal. So look, if I now click enter, so these are our 3 lines. It's printing out our name plus string, print out our age, print out our British status, I guess, but none of these bits have been printed out. Hopefully I didn't go too fast and it all sort of makes sense. As I said, watch the video for you a couple times or just break it down. You know, go back through the video, just pause it and take a moment just to read the code and make sure that you sort of really understand what each symbol means and how it's all working. Because as I said, this bit I've covered here, all of this is really the fundamentals. So it's important you get this stuff down early if you want to progress in JavaScript. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you for the next JavaScript tutorial.